Crazy.
So we shall be widowy wife. And welcome back, everyone, if that so is the case.
Yeah, true.
We had some technical difficulties
There's
last
a
time.
little whoopsie daisy happened last time.
I am attributing that to the slightly poor internet quality that is at the other place I was that is not my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how it goes this time.
Yeah. I'm trying to think
we
what
both
else
sound
there is
good.
to
That's an
mention.
audio check out of the way. I didn't
Oh,
mute
good.
myself this time.
Dang.
But just for a refresher for everyone, so they remember where we were. I actually don't remember the specifics of it, but I just remember that Lambda Delta and Bernkastel were having a conversation.
Yeah, they were kind of just clowning on Battler, being like, "What? You don't get it?"
Yeah, look, don't you see their faces? Look at their faces right now. Look at
Yeah.
look at their funny little faces.
I'm also trying to remember what happened last time. Nothing's happened yet, right? No murders yet.
Not yet, no.
So, but everybody went to bed.
Yup.
There was a letter that was like, "Nope, Battler won. He's the guy."
Yep. From Beatrice, no less.
Yeah. What else
Basically,
happened?
they're kind of setting it up so that it's not the gold which is the instigation for the murders in this one, but Natsuhi's past and paranoia, excuse me.
Yeah. Oh, true. In general, we learned more about the man from 19 years ago, because he called again and was like, "Hello, mother."
Natsuhi has had an adopted baby for a very, very brief period of like 3
Yeah.
days.
Yep.
And then it just so happened to fall off a cliff with a servant who took it to said cliff and unfortunately pass away. And now there is a voice which is describing itself as that supposed child, and Natsuhi's immense guilt over the death of this child is making her go a little wacky.
Yep. Now she's like, "I didn't do it. It was a demon."
Yep. It's leading her
today's
to delusions.
true. Today's thumbnail is brought to you by last episode. It's the Anjay hugging Battler CG. We're running out of CGs, so I don't know why I chose that one for this one. I just kind of did.
You can just use this next time if you want. Not a CG, but
Maybe
it's funny.
it is. I got stuff. I got a few more things geared up, but
Look
yeah.
at Byrne's funny little face. We don't get those often from her. We get them all the time from Lambda Delta, but we don't get them from Bernkastel very often.
No, she's very reserved with her funny faces.
Yeah, very demure, very mindful.
Yeah, very witch-like.
Anyways, I'm actually gonna go back just a little bit to get context. Okay, so this is them discussing like the strategy that Lambda Delta's putting forward, and now Lambda Delta's like, screw you, Beatrice. This is our game board now. And then this is the line we left off on, which didn't actually get read, so that's why I had to reverse back up to it, because I read it. You guys just didn't hear it.
Yeah, because the connection went out.
So, without further ado.
Both Natsuhi and Beato are like the guts of a filthy truth wrapped up in a box of thick skin. Thin skin. Tearing that to bits and dragging the insides out is one of our few pleasures.
Yep, you can have tons of fun with it. Hey, are you watching, Beatrice? Look at how much fun can be had playing with your game board. Let me show you. This fifth game's really gonna be fun.
It's a bit sad if we're the only ones having a pleasant chat. Why don't you let Beato talk too?
Hear that? I'll give you special permission to talk. What do you hope to gain from this latest game?
She don't want none of it.
It's a game without love. She said nothing! That's right, that's right. You're the loser who surrendered to Battler. Leave it to me, Kay. I'll put the witch side on top right away. But that means I'll have to sacrifice your piece. Forgot she was here as well.
Yeah. Rat.
The epitaph has been easily solved before the first twilight, and Beatrice, the keeper of the gold, has lost face.
Isn't it great you remain as a piece, as part of Natsuhi's illusion? Well, we're treating you as a pin now instead of a piece, okay?
That's right. They just brought up the analogy of bowling pins rather than chess.
Yep. I also like, it's a very small thing, but I like how there is a subtle difference in the color of Burns' hair and Erika's hair.
Yeah, very slight, very demure. No, I'm done.
The Golden Witch Beatrice is out of the picture now. You and your furniture have only a minuscule role in my game. A loser's role. Resign yourself to getting blasted away and becoming Burns and my toy.
If you don't like that, why not just tell us to stop? If you do, we'll stop.
She's saying she doesn't mind. You're totally a pin. Yeah.
There's no need for a golden witch anymore. All that's needed is a sacrificial doll, so the two witches can enjoy some time playing. Die, disappear. Confess to your filthy past and your crimes. Speak out your sob story of regret and repentance as you throw yourself off a cliff and die. The Golden Witch will never again have her turn. That's someone.
Yeah.
I can guess who based off of the repeated die statements, but Beato. This will probably turn out to be a nasty game.
Oh, it's a new song.
On the surface, it looks very similar to the usual tales. However, there's no respect given to the true main character of this story. This tale was supposed to be one that the Golden Witch Beatrice invited Ushiromiya Battler to see. However, the host has been lost, and there are no longer any guests. The one who did the inviting and the one who was invited are no longer around in this horrible tale. Welcome to the 5th game. End of the Golden Witch. Welcome to the banquet without the guest of honor, hijacked by the evil witches.
Ready, Battler? The second day is finally about to start. Just like Beato, I hate slow story progression.
Just do what you want. No matter how much you mess things up, I'll definitely reach the truth of this game.
It has to be that way. You've got to fight for your little sister's sake as well.
Ugh.
Don't worry. Lady Lambda Delta is a far more terrifying opponent than that fool Beatrice. But I'll be giving you plenty of support, so there won't be any problems. Together with me, why don't you finally expose the illusion of the witch this time?
I don't give a damn about you. I won't acknowledge anything that didn't exist in Beato's games, so I don't need you.
Is now really the time to act tough? Oh well, let's both give it our all, okay? Together, let's tear this illusion of the witch apart.
Erika offered me her hand to shake. Instead of just passively ignoring this, I gave her a proactive and clear answer by knocking her hand aside.
Looks like he hates shaking hands. Just like Anja.
Don't worry. I'm a far more useful piece than Anja. I'm nothing at all like shredded meat that couldn't do anything but restore your fighting spirit. Isn't it great that you've been blessed with such a helpful-looking ally? In the past, it was Virgilia and Ronove. Then Anja came as well. And now you have Bert and Erika. There's so many pieces supporting you. So how does it feel knowing you still can't catch on to the truth despite that? How does it feel?
It doesn't matter. This is a battle between me and Beato. Everyone else besides us doesn't matter.
Oh, is that true? Are you finally standing on your own? You've always had someone helping you, someone sympathetic to you. So I wonder just how far you'll get on your own. Entertain me.
I'll grab it and take it back. This is our game. You two aren't wanted here.
Yes, that's true. This is your game. So try taking it back. Let's see how far someone like you, who couldn't even win Beato's games when she went easy on you all over the place, can get in Lambda's completely ruthless game without any help.
Well then, wake up! Ushiromiya Battler! Welcome to the morning of October 5th.
Okay.
That's how close we were to the end of the chapter last time.
I got confused because I kept pressing spacebar and nothing was coming out of the text box, so I was like,
They've taken it over.
Yep. It's dark. It's scary. The second day.
October 5th.
October 5th, 1986. Un momento.
Uh-oh.
We're good.
October 5th.
Was it someone's alarm clock? Beep, beep. An electronic tone repeatedly rang out through the room. It's the carbon monoxide detector.
True.
Battler, who had gone to bed late and not managed to get enough sleep, covered his head in his blanket and waited for someone to turn off the alarm. But no matter how much time passed, the electronic tone didn't stop. Everyone else in the room has suffocated to death, Battler. I see. The point of an alarm clock isn't just to be loud enough to wake you, but to be annoying enough to keep you from wanting to fall back asleep. Hey, the alarm's going off. Make it stop, please. Why do waking up voices always get this annoyed? Well, it does make sense. After all, people are still sleepy and in a bad mood. However, there was absolutely no sign that my annoyed voice had caused anyone to turn over in their sleep, or crawl out of bed to stop the alarm. Letting out a deep sigh, I stumbled to my feet. With the shutters down on the windows, there was almost no light getting in, and the room was as dim as it had been earlier. Though, even without the shutters, there's no way this dull weather would let in enough sun to make this a pleasant morning. The cousins were still wrapped up in their beds, sound asleep, and taking no notice whatsoever of that beeping. Normally, once any one person gets up, the others tend to automatically follow. Annoyed that this law of serial summer camp awakenings that I'd made up had been broken, I searched for the source of the sound. I could hear it coming from a wristwatch set on a table. Judging by the style of the watch, it was probably George Aniki's. Anyway, when I randomly pushed a small button on the side of it, the sound stopped. Apparently, it had been set for 7 in the morning. Is it already 7? Sorry, but I don't really feel like I slept at all. Playing cards were left on the table as though they had stopped mid-game. He was up until 3 a.m. That's only 4 hours of sleep. Oof. The game had probably been 7s. Damn it. I've got this piercing headache. What the hell happened last night? That mountain of gold and the subsequent argument between the relatives all feel like a bad dream. So stupid. Breakfast normally came at 8 o'clock. Now wasn't a bad time to start getting up and getting dressed. Even those adults probably won't argue in front of the cousins. In that case, I'll stay with my cousins all day long. I'm sure they'll be able to separate me from all this annoying talk about gold and being the successor and all. In fact, I should have done this from the beginning. I felt disgusting, having slept with my clothes on last night, which caused me to get all sweaty. I guess I'll take a shower. I'm sure the others want to as well. At this age, it's embarrassing to wake them by shaking their shoulders. If I turn on the TV, everyone will probably wake up. Well, let's at least turn the lights on for now. Lights are arguably worse than the TV. In this dim light, with the quiet sound of never-ending wind and rain, it really doesn't feel like morning has come yet. I flipped the light switch, and then that dimly lit morning ended. Was I right? Are they all dead? Yep.
George!
Doesn't look like carbon monoxide poisoning, though. This is just too horrible. How could anyone get away with something like this?
And just in time, a new CG.
True. Although it's a little violent.
Yeah, I probably can't use that.
As they clung to Aniki's corpse, which would never wake up again, Anteva and Uncle Hideyoshi cried.
Oh, this is also a new song, which I could probably tell. String Trio number 600 million in F sharp minor.
That's enough. Do you think George-kun would like the two of you to see him this way? Of course not.
Aneki, I know how you feel. Let's have Dr. Nanjo handle this. You don't understand.
That's a new sprite.
Yeah. Surprised we didn't get that in episode 3. George was killed. George.
Dr. Nanjo's right. We mustn't keep staring at George in such a state. This is for George's sake. We have to restrain ourselves for now.
When Aunt Eva tried even harder to cling to that corpse, Dad and Uncle Hideyoshi dragged her away and had a heated debate with her beside the wall.
No, George. Dr. Nacho, help him. If he's lost too much blood, do a blood transfusion. George and I are the same blood type. I beg you. Dr. Nanjo.
Eva-san, it pains me to say this, but your blood can't do George-kun any good now.
Dr. Nanjo shook his head slightly, then nodded across to where I stood, giving me a signal. I softly pulled the blanket up, covering George Aniki's corpse. His neck was split wide open. It was probably larger and deeper than his mouth. Would covering that part up make the corpse look neat and clean? Of course not. The large amount of lost blood stained the bed a horrible red and black, and even covering him with the blanket couldn't hide the traces. After all, even the blanket had large red-black stains. Covering him with it made his corpse look even more gruesome. So I stripped the blanket off of my bed and placed it on top of the first one. But there were only 2 extra blankets. So if we covered one more of the corpses, we wouldn't be able to cover any more. I feel bad about the ones we can't cover. But for some reason, times like these make me feel like muttering, "Don't complain about it being unfair," inside my head.
Kyrie, put blankets over all of them. Wouldn't want them to catch cold.
Sure.
Kyrie-san and I started covering the other corpses up to their heads with just their blankets, just like George Aniki's, so that they wouldn't have to undergo any more shame with their terrible wounds exposed like this. In one bed rested Jessica. Jessica was exactly the same as George Aniki, though she appeared to be resting quietly in the bed. Her neck had been sliced deep and the wound lay open in a brutal way. Maria was the same. And not only Maria. There was one more victim. Lying on the same bed, as though they'd been sleeping alongside each other, was Aunt Rosa. George Aniki, Jessica, Maria, and Aunt Rosa. In this room were 4 humans who had been killed, their necks sliced open.
Let's see what the system has to say about it.
I heard it. Cousin's room, 2nd floor of the guest house. Direct cause of death is unknown, but her neck was sliced open by a sharp blade. The wound was deep enough anyone could easily confirm the death with absolute certainty. Exact same thing, except hers replaced with hymns. Exact same thing. Exact same thing.
Yep.
All right.
Simple.
They'd probably been like that since last night. I'd returned without noticing anything, gotten in bed, and fallen asleep. All of them had a horizontal cut across their throats. I had been forced to see all the way into the depths of those gashes in everyone's throats. At worst, the wounds might have been deep enough to stretch halfway through their necks. If you tried to open it up, you'd probably be able to see that the gash reached all the way to the bone.
Ooh.
The only wounds were the single gashes on each neck. So if you just covered their necks with your hand, you might be able to persuade yourself that they were merely sleeping. But even so, this frighteningly deep wound was incredibly gruesome. There's no such thing as clean or dirty ways of killing. All methods of killing are equally brutal. But even so, the brutality here was just horrible. And there was one more thing that adorned these brutal murders, making them even more unsettling. Drawn very large on the wall was something like an eerie magic circle. It was drawn in a bright red paint that looked like blood, and made it look as though some creepy ceremony had taken place in this room, with the 4 of them offered as human sacrifices. However, that wasn't what we were concerned about. No one has a heart so cold that they could witness the death of those close to them, and still worry about some scribbles on the wall. Knocking.
Who is it? Oh.
La Rata Errada. Is that what they call him in Batman? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, what a wonderful magic circle.
The girl who bragged that she drew more pleasure from the process of exposing the truth than the truth itself, hey, call it what it is, and who went so far, okay, never mind, and who went so far as to call herself an intellectual rapist, appeared in the hall It's so hard to read that seriously, man.
Yeah.
When she saw the extraordinarily creepy magic circle in this gruesome room, I heard what was unmistakably a sigh of admiration escape from her lips. You. Don't come in here.
I just heard about it in the corridor. It's 4 people who've passed away, correct? Allow me to express my sincere regrets.
On Erika's face. No, that's not it. It was in her eyes. I'm envisioning it. I can picture the look that she has right now perfectly. In Erika's eyes, I could see an indiscreet smile that was hard to describe. She found this interesting. She found the outbreak of a crime interesting. It was like the smile of a kid off to the side of the stage just before her turn to appear in a school play. That's crazy. It's almost like that's exactly what it is.
Yep. Sorry, Erika-chan. We're busy at the moment. Could you wait in your room? Have we ever had... No, Rudolf survived in episode 3, didn't he? I was starting to think
Yes.
like, we've almost never seen him and Kiria go through it.
No, they didn't survive in episode 3, but they got time in episode 3 because remember they fought the seven stake. That was their cool moment.
Yeah, but they survived the
first Twilight.
6.
Yeah.
But they almost always
Which also,
don't.
if this is the first Twilight, that's only 4 people dead so far. There are still 2 more that we have to account for.
True. Anyway.
Well, we can't have that. It's the detective's right to investigate the scene.
We're saying that we have no business with you. Now's the time for outsiders like you to stand back.
In my personal opinion, only third-rate mysteries have a suspect who tries to interfere with the investigation, and then turns out to be the culprit.
Who gives a damn about what you want? Get out! You aren't wanted here.
Erika-chan, I'm really sorry, but could you go back to your room? We're busy right now.
We're busy is crazy. George!
We're busy is even more crazy when your wife is sobbing over the corpse of your dead child.
Yeah.
Stand back. I can't investigate the scene like this.
If it's necessary, we'll do it ourselves. The police will do it. Like hell, you have the right to bring more shame to everyone's remains than they've already endured.
Detective's authority. The detective has the right to inspect all crime scenes. Stand back, Ushiromiya Battler. This is an official privilege of this game which the human side has accepted.
Those words, which seemed to be utterly ridiculous at first, were words of power that had come from a world on a much higher plane than the one they were in. Battler was thrown back by an unseen power and landed on his butt. Struck silent by this quiet intensity, nobody was able to prevent Erika from entering the room, suffocated by this bizarre atmosphere. Me when you throw Battler back with an unseen force, thus making everyone believe you used magic, thus completely defeating your own point.
Don't worry. My goal is not to profane the dignity of the deceased. It's not like I want to peek into something as disgusting as a slit through someone's neck. I want to know something completely different. In other words, who committed these murders? I asked Dr. Nanjo, and everyone else too. In particular, the first one to discover them, Battler-san. There are many things I want to question you about, so I request your cooperation.
Like I said, by what authority are you doing this?
Detective, boom! Explode.
Because I am the detective.
Badler couldn't argue against this incomprehensible nonsense. No, he wasn't permitted to argue. It was a restriction placed on pieces.
Dang.
Erika summoned Dr. Nanjo and heard the details of his preliminary examination of the corpses. Normally, he wouldn't have spoken of that to an outsider so casually. However, for some reason, the atmosphere about the place had become one in which hiding things from Erika was forbidden.
Okay, let's enjoy this first twilight of lambdas. 4 corpses? That's 2 corpses short. Well, she doesn't necessarily need to have 6 people killed, but that's how we've been playing. That girl isn't completely clueless, so she must have killed 2 more people somewhere.
On the wall was a magic circle representing the first twilight, similar to the one in Beato's games.
That girl talks tough, but I wonder just how closely she'll be able to imitate Beato. That Hebrew sure is crappy. It isn't written exactly right.
Mammon!
True, what in the world? What the heck? What's going on? Why is there a magic circle?
Asmodeus, new
That's-
sprite! Hello,
yeah,
nurse!
new sprite, Asmodeus.
Asmodeus with the Marilyn Monroe pose?
If anyone would have it, it would be her.
I'll bet they wanted to copy Beatrice-sama. What a crappy magic circle.
Dang. You got the Lambda, you got the whole squad laughing.
This isn't just a copycat. Some human went out of their way to draw that so they could make it look like Beatrice-sama did this. Anyway, let's report to Beatrice-sama about this.
Good luck.
Yeah, true. Even though we're already up to our eyeballs just protecting Goldsmith's secret. What a pain. Again with the new sprite.
Dang,
What
they're
is
going all
on?
out. What a treat.
Yeah.
What a treat for us.
Oh.
But these murders have no beauty to them at all. It isn't really a closed room, and there's nothing impossible about it.
The whole squad.
Such pitiful murders aren't worthy of Beatrice-sama at all.
Furudo Erika. An unexpected crime. And an unexpected woman. And the unexpected man from 19 years ago. And if you add in the fact Badler's already solved the epitaph, this game is completely different from normal. What the heck's going on? Let's go.
Yes, One-sama?
The goat. In the kitchen. Oh, he's not dead too. I thought for sure he was going to be one of the other ones that was dead. In the kitchen, Goda was preparing a wonderful breakfast at a brisk pace. The main dish would be herb omelets. Even simple foods could become an invigorating feast under Goda's skillful hands. He would pre-cook everything beforehand and prepare the food in the dining hall right before everyone's eyes. Pun, 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 pun. Goda hummed as he continued his work in high spirits. When Shanna, who was helping out, saw Goda like this, her mood also brightened. She arranged the salad in a neat little pattern and showed it to Goda.
How's this? I think it makes the tomato look a bit cute.
Very nice. You really know what you're doing, Shannon-san. The two happy people gave each other a high five.
Yay!
What? Shannon didn't like Goto when he was sneaky, but she had no problems at all with him when he was cooking happily. She sometimes even thought it'd be nice if his contract hadn't included any jobs besides cooking. If that had been the case, he wouldn't have had to get in a bad mood doing unnecessary jobs.
The dining hall is ready. You can carry it in whenever you want.
We're almost good to go, so please get the serving cart ready. Without thinking, even Kumasawa caught Gota's high spirits. The kitchen had a very nice smell and atmosphere about it, truly refreshing for so early in the morning. That's a shame, bud. That's a... Then Canon came back. And everyone was sad.
Yeah.
Grumpy even this early in the morning, just like he always was. Canon and Genji were in charge of getting many things ready for the morning, such as opening the curtains. However, Canon was alone today, so it had taken much longer than usual, so everyone got to be happy for just a little bit longer.
I'm done. Where's Genji-sama? He still isn't here. That's odd. I can't imagine he'd sleep in. I guess even Genji-san sleeps in sometimes.
That's rather careless of him, considering that this is the middle of the family conference. Canon-san, could you wake him for us?
Yes. I wonder what Genji-san's face looks like when he's half asleep. Let me go with you.
Even though Gota had asked her to get the serving cart ready, Kurosawa plodded off after Canon, slyly skipping work.
Pro work dodger.
True. As Canon muttered about how Gota was the one who slept in all the time, he headed for the servant waiting room.
So, you didn't wake him up this morning, Canon-san? Last night, I fell asleep while still in the servant room, so I didn't return to the waiting room.
Last night, Canon had dozed off while in the middle of his late-night shift, how convenient, falling asleep in the servant room. Shannon had been kind enough to put a blanket on him, but that had just made it so warm that he fell into an even deeper sleep. So, he hadn't returned to his bed in the servant waiting room the previous night. Because of that, he hadn't met Genji even once this morning. There was a knock on the door.
Genji-sama, it's Canon. Good morning. Oh my. I wonder if he's still sleeping. Pardon me.
When he tried to open the door, Canon noticed something strange on the upper part of it. What's that? Packing tape? A small strip of packing tape was stuck along the frame of the door, almost as though it was sealing the door shut. Furthermore, there were notches made with scissors along the center of the packing tape, so that if you open the door only a slight amount, it would be torn apart. Also written sloppily across the packing tape with a thin pen was what appeared to be someone's signature. It was written in a very intricate and decorative manner, so even if it was a signature, there was no way of telling whose it was.
It's probably some sort of prank. I don't get it, but it's no use worrying about it now. Genji-sama, pardon me.
The packing tape tore apart, and he opened the door. It wasn't as though anything happened when it split, so the two quickly forgot about that strange tape. The room was dimly lit. The lower bed of the two-level bunk bed still had a lump under the blanket. Apparently, Genji was still sleeping.
Good morning, Genji-sama. This isn't like you. Ho ho ho. It's morning. Genji-sama.
Eek! What is this? What is this?
So the only one left would have to be Kraus then, right?
Maybe.
Because we saw Natsuhi at the beginning of this episode when Erika claimed she was the murderer. So Natsuhi persists until the end, and he's the only other person we haven't seen, right? Kraus? I mean, besides Kenzo.
Yeah.
There was a large red-black stain on the blanket. Even the servants' blankets were always kept clean. A stain like that definitely shouldn't have been there. Kanon hesitantly peeled back Genji's blanket, saw what was left of him, and was shocked into silence. Oh, hi, Beelzebub.
With the sprite again. Okay.
Yeah. Marilyn Monroe maxing.
What the heck? His neck's been cut open.
It's thin. You wouldn't be able to leave a cut this deep without a fairly long blade.
What's going on? Battler solved the riddle of the epitaph, right? Why are there murders happening?
I don't know. In any event, this isn't good. We should report this to Beatrice-sama and Natsuhi-sama.
Belva, hurry and report it to Lucine.
Understood.
After dashing out, Kumasawa called Goda and Shannon over. Then, this new pair let out screams identical to the first two. Goda's was identical to Kumasawa, and Shannon's was identical to Kanon's.
True. I love that Goda sprite. It's one of my favorites. It's the I don't want that heat. It's
Yeah.
No! Don't stop making breakfast, Goda.
I forgot that some of them had a strange obsession with Goda.
Is now really the time to be saying that? There's no chance they'll have a quiet and peaceful breakfast on the second day. I have a bad feeling about this. Genji might not be the only one. Let's check the entire mansion. Something else might have happened.
Yes, One-sama.
Thank you, Steak Sisters, for being our plot drivers right now.
Really, it was just an excuse to see the new sprites.
Honestly, I'm grateful for it. Battler pilled him more ways than one. Natsuhi sprang awake at the sudden sound of the phone. Even Natsuhi was surprised that she'd woken up. She thought she'd spent the whole night unable to sleep out of fear that the mysterious man might come in at any moment. He did say he was so close he could kiss you on the cheek. But she dozed off before she knew it. Of course, Natsuhi still didn't feel rested at all. Though she groaned from the dull pain in her head, which hadn't gone away once since last night. She managed to get out of bed.
Morning, Natsuhi-sama. Morning. And what a horrible morning it is. Don't worry. No one tried to enter this room. I see. Thanks for keeping watch all night.
Even so, that didn't mean she'd been able to sleep peacefully. The continued ringing of the phone made her headache throb even more strongly.
I think you should probably answer the phone. And then, I've got some bad news to report from my sisters. Let's leave the bad news for later. I'll answer the phone first.
Natsuhi shook her head to wake herself and picked up the receiver. Then, she regretted not listening to Lucifer's bad news first, because she wanted the first thing she heard on this horrible morning to be something better than this. Morning, Mother. Did you sleep well? That voice told her that this horrible morning, this nightmare, would not stop.
I kept my promise. I've been holed up in this room the whole time. Of course, I haven't been on the phone either.
But you did pick up the phone just now, did you not?
Well,
Just kidding. This is just a morning call I'm giving to my beloved mother. Morning, mother.
how far do you intend to mock me?
Natsuhi gripped the receiver so hard, it creaked. I wanted you to leave your seat so that I could set up for the party. Thanks to that, everything is ready now. Of course, you are the main guest, mother.
What are you planning to do?
That is for you to look forward to. Do not worry. I will keep you waiting. I will not keep you waiting. It has already begun. Oh, right. Wait a sec. There is someone I want you to hear.
Huh?
There was the sound of the receiver being jolted around. The phone was apparently being passed to someone else, but there was a clunking, clattering noise, as though it was taking a lot of effort to hand the receiver over. Who in the world could he be giving the phone to?
No matter who this man gives the phone to, that can't be good news for me.
Untie me, coward!
Huh? Dear? Is that you?
Untie it! Untie it!
It was, without a doubt, the voice of her husband. However, he didn't respond to Natsuhi's voice. Perhaps he was bound somewhere in the darkness. Kraus, not realizing that Natsuhi was on the other end of the phone, repeatedly demanded that he be untied. Your husband is here. His eyes and ears are covered, so you won't be able to talk. But I think you can tell that he is in perfect health.
What are you after? Let my husband go!
I will let him go tomorrow. If you keep 2 promises, that is.
What are they?
1 is that you keep it a secret that I have your husband in my care. There will probably be a fuss when they are unable to find Kraus anywhere in the mansion, but you know nothing, so you will say nothing. Understand?
I understand. What's your other condition?
Oh, just a little game. At 1 o'clock today, you will go into the foremost guest room on the 1st floor of the mansion and hide in the closet.
A guest room? Why should I go into a closet?
Just a little hide and seek. If you can hide there for an hour without anyone finding you, you win. If someone does find you, you lose.
And if I lose, what happens?
Nothing in particular. Is that not what playing is all about? If you play along with this hide and seek, I will release your husband tomorrow.
What? Will you really? Keep that promise? I wonder.
Of course. Make sure you do too, Mother. If you break our promise, I will know right away. At that time, there was suddenly a loud knock on the door to Natsuhi's room. Her heart leapt automatically.
Madam, are you there? Good morning.
It's Goren Cannon. Madam, please wake up!
The voices coming from across the door were Canon's and Goda's. The knock had been wild, and the voices a little shrill. It seemed that something strange had happened, and that they were agitated.
What is it? Did something happen?
Oh. Huh?
Yeah,
That was one of
I
them.
don't know. Sure.
I'll just say it was Goda. And he made that voice.
It's nothing. It looks like the servants have arrived.
Oh, that was the voice on the phone. That was the voice
yeah.
on the phone. Okay.
I'm hanging up.
Sure. I have said everything I wanted to. So, do not break our promise.
I understand. And you don't break our promise either.
You have it wrong.
That is for you to decide, Mother. Do not make me break my promise, Mother. I will be watching you all day today, Mother.
I kind of want to know what they did for the dubbing for that.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure. I will say, I don't know if I already told you, but the person that voices the man from 19 years ago is Daisuke Ono, the same one that's Battler's voice. So I don't know what they do whenever Lambda Delta pops up on screen, though. I don't know who reads it.
Battler doing a Lambda impression.
Yeah.
Lambda slammed the receiver down on the antique phone. Then, the phone exploded into bits and became a golden splash, then a cloud of gold butterflies, and then disappeared.
Dang.
Dance for me, Natsuhi. Dance in fear of your sin 19 years ago. My turn's going pretty well. Okay, your turn now, Burn.
Just like that.
I'm sure this is a waste of time, but let me confirm whether correspondence with the outside world, including reporting this to the police, is possible or not.
It's impossible to make use of the external line. Looks like you can use the internal line. It's impossible to use a boat inside the typhoon. I guess the closed circle is complete now. Congrats, you're a full detective now, Burn.
When the police intervene, they sometimes steal some of the detective's authority. However, with the construction of the closed circle, the existence of the police has been denied for all eternity. Dang!
Yep.
From now on, the authority of the detective piece will be totally guaranteed.
Yeah. Thanks a bunch. Then I guess it's time to get this game started.
I thought we did that like 5 chapters ago, girls.
Nope.
Erika, you're the main character. Now, begin.
Gosh, okay, I guess we're just going into it. Even Genji-san? 5 people have been killed.
Yes. And it was so horrible.
It was exactly the same as the 4 in the guest house. The neck was sliced open with a terribly sharp blade.
To think that even though I had the midnight shift, I didn't notice anyone suspicious.
Don't blame yourself. If you'd bumped into the culprit, you might be the one dead right now.
On top of that, the phones aren't even connecting. I doubt any boats will come in this weather. This is serious.
And that makes it very likely the culprit's still nearby.
Thank you for your contribution, Kumasawa.
Then what? Does that mean we'll be trapped here with a murderer until the typhoon passes and the boat comes?
It'll be okay. If we all stay together like this, even the culprit won't be able to lay a finger on us.
Even Jessica. I can't believe it.
We won't let ourselves be killed. I'll avenge George. I won't let them get away. No matter who the culprit is or what that reason was, I won't let the one who killed George get away. I'll kill them. I'll kill them.
Okay, everyone. Are you done crying yet? Silence, please.
Damn.
Has anyone seen Kraus-san yet? We've been calling him for a while, but he hasn't answered.
Could the receiver be off the hook?
No, we could hear it ringing. There's no way he didn't hear it.
What was that for? What was that? Wait, the face? What was that?
What, her looking at us?
Yeah, Erika just took a moment just to go like, eh.
Don't worry, it was just a little Marvel MCU look at the camera, break the fourth wall.
Oh, she pulled a Jim Halpert.
Yeah, she was looking at us. That was for us.
Okay, all right.
Like, get a load of these guys, right? You know.
Yeah, she's like, they don't know yet.
They
like,
don't know. They don't know. What does it mean? You don't think Uncle Kraus too?
Figures. I hate to say it at a time like this, but there were 4 in the guest house, plus Genji to make 5. I figured there would be one more.
Why? How could you know that? Are you the culprit? Did you kill George?
Dang. Ava's delirious for good reason.
Yeah.
Stop it, Eva-san! Now is not the time!
Ava got agitated and grabbed at Kyrie. Nancho stepped in between them and it grew into a bit of a scuffle. Watching this, Erika smiled condescendingly and shrugged.
Of course. It's natural you'd guess there were 6 victims after seeing the crime scene in the guest house. There were only 4 corpses, so it'd make you wonder who the other 2 were.
How could you know such a thing? You killed them? You killed George!
Quit it, Ava! Erika-chan, Kyrie-san! How can you know that? Can't you think before you talk?
It's a simple connection to make. The scribble drawn at the scene of the crime in the guest house was a magic circle. I just tried to think of things connected to both magic and murders.
Oh, so it's the epitaph, huh?
I see. It's the first twilight.
Da da da!
What's going on?
Well, I don't have a clue either.
Is that how it is? That damn witch.
Goran Kumasawa. Everyone else is like, I get it now. And they're like, huh? Then, also, sorry, just an aside, Potato, you relating to Erika says more about you as a person, I think, than anything else. So
Yeah, give it some time. You may regret those words.
So is this really Beatrice-sama's doing?
Why do you all keep talking as if you know something?
Poor Ava.
Yeah. I don't have a clue. Someone explain.
They're all the murderers, Ava.
Yeah, true.
They all did it together.
I told you, Ava, calm down a bit.
That's how it is. Ever since I saw the magic circle at that crime scene, I imagine this might be a plotline murder following the epitaph's first twilight, which would mean there are 6 victims. Simply by the existence of the magic circle in that place.
Don't say creature.
This level of reasoning is possible for Fururo Erika.
God.
What do you think, everyone?
Oh! I'm like Beatrice getting stabbed by the wedges every time she says the next line. Another one goes.
True.
So, Uncle Kraus was also killed?
We can't be sure of that. Kraus-san isn't the only person who hasn't come here, right? There's one more.
For just an instant, Natsuhi's brow furrowed. So, she hadn't been able to avoid the topic of the study after all.
You don't mean... Dad? Hey, someone must have contacted the study, right?
Of course, we called, and even knocked on the door. But, there was no answer.
The father is immersing himself in his research. He sometimes leaves the receiver off the hook because he doesn't want to be called and ignores any knocking.
But the phone was ringing.
Anyway, let's first check to see that my husband's safe. Let's go to his room.
Natsuhi stood up in a flurry and dashed out into the corridor. I will say, if, like, this is supposed to be a kind of a mirror, not 100% though, to episode 1, this one, it's like Natsuhi is much more sus in this one than she ever was in episode 1.
True. When I first went through this, I also was thinking they might be doing that, but they don't really.
Okay.
The only connection is that Natsuhi's kind of front and center, but it becomes a whole other thing, which you'll see.
Rudolf and the others immediately chased after her, telling her to wait.
Come on, let's all go together. In both third-rate mysteries and third-rate horrors, people who act alone tend to die first. Yeah, this game is just the same.
She's just insulting Lambda. She's...
Beato really is third-rate.
Oh, but in third-rate disaster movies and third-rate action movies, people who act alone do survive, right? Weird. Oh, that's still her, I guess. It's her in a it's her in a monologue. It's Burn. That makes it me.
It's Brunk.
We are one and the same, you and I.
Yeah. Oh, fake Triss.
No, she exists.
Yeah, okay.
Even though the epitaph has already been solved, who's behind this farce?
I do have to say, this is kind of funny. Having Beatrice also be like, wait a minute.
Who did this?
That's my job. That's...
It might be the work of this man from 19 years ago, who is thought to be Lady Lambda Delta's piece. Ah, yes, that can't be true.
In the games up until now, Beato has already stated that Kinzo has vanished, meaning that no more than 17 people exist and no 18th person exists. Now that Erika has been added, it's been stated that no 19th person exists. There's no room for this man from 19 years ago to appear on the island.
So the man from 19 years ago is disguised as one of the existing humans. Or else...
Even if a 19th person isn't permitted by the Red, sleeping in a 19th person is no trouble for me, no trouble for witches. Now it's getting interesting. Why don't we watch this a little longer? Still, those two witches. They've finally started to do whatever they please with my game board, haven't they?
Didn't you know that would happen when you invited them?
As a witch, I have the same dislike for boredom as they do. Even the unexpected brings the kind of joy a witch expects. Very well, bring it on!
Wonder what she'd be saying if she saw, Overmind Beatrice right now.
It's great that you're so eager, but things have taken a nasty turn. Get it?
Indeed. Perhaps this isn't the best time to wait and see what happens next.
I know that. At this rate, Kinzo's existence will become an issue once again. And the barrier around the study won't last long. That isn't all. Things are going to get even worse. See? Move 1, move 2, move 3, and then you're cornered. Natsuhi.
Gob whispered something into Beato's ear. Beato's mouth slowly widened into a grin.
Erika bringing everyone together is actually convenient for us. All darkness outside the range of observers belongs to us demons. This may be the only time to make that move.
Natsuhi is the king. She can't move far, but we cannot allow her to be taken. Let's take the initiative. If we slip up here, Natsuhi will be cornered. Gup, can I count on you? Of course. I'll blow a hole through closed room tricks, alibis, and mysteries alike. Leave it to me. I'll handle it.
It's always really funny to me when they do the drop for her.
Yeah.
Gop was swallowed up, along with the chair she sat in, into a pitch black hole that opened on the floor and then disappeared.
She better bring that chair back.
After that, a hole opened on the ceiling and just spat the chair back out,
Well, hey, how about that?
returning it to the place the way it had been. I was gonna make a joke about chairs when you said that, but now the chair's back, so I don't have to anymore legally.
Yeah. This is becoming troublesome.
I see. Against Lady Lambda Delta, even I am nothing more than a mere piece. So in the early game, I must worry more about expansion than losing or taking pieces. I'm just no match for that person. I won't let her do that. Natsuhi is the final master I will serve. Know that this is a piece you'll never be allowed to take, so long as she has a contract with me, Beatrice. Krause's room was empty. The bed was too, but massive bloodstains similar to the other crime scenes remained.
But there was no corpse.
Nope,
Then he isn't dead.
maybe not.
Dang. What's going on? Wow, this is his room?
Krause's room?
It's really blue.
Yeah, I was about to say very blue.
Also, the bed in the corner. I don't know how I feel about that.
He's got a
Like
big
little
old,
bed cubby.
Yeah, big old cushy blanket too.
Oh, and who are those chairs for? But anyway. What's going on? Where's Nissan? Judging by this blood-stained bed, I don't like to think about it, but we should probably assume that he was killed and had his neck cut open, just like the people in the guest house.
Probably. Judging by the amount of blood lost, it's hard to imagine that he's okay.
But where did Kraus-sama go?
Large amounts of blood stained the top of the bed, but there were no similar marks on the floor of the room. Whether Kraus had been seriously wounded and wandered off somewhere, or killed and carried somewhere, they had no clue where this somewhere might be. A vacuum tube through the window connected to the top of the bed that pulled him out of the room.
Mm-hmm. Big magnet.
Big magnet, and because there was so much blood, it pulled it to it like the iron in the blood. It pulled him to. Actually, I think iron's not magnetic.
He wore watch.
he. Natsuhi knew. Though Kraus had been sounding far from his best over the phone, at least he hadn't sounded like he was on the brink of death. In other words, these bloodstains had to be a setup. That might not even be blood. Natsuhi starts licking it.
It's ketchup.
However, just what was that man thinking?
What's this supposed to be?
What the heck? So on the first Twilight, there were 6 sacrifices?
Was Kraus-Nissan in the habit of locking his door? We just came in without unlocking it.
Yes, Kraus-sama also has a habit of locking up.
At this house, Madam has ordered that all non-public areas be locked.
How many keys can unlock Uncle Kraus's room?
In addition to the one key Kraus-sama held, there's the master keys.
Dang.
Oh, all that stuff about keys is a pointless argument. Did you forget that Genji-san is already a victim? His master key is missing. That means all the locks in this mansion are meaningless. How boring. In other words, no closed room murders have existed or will exist in this mansion. Sheesh. This is getting to be a pretty boring mystery.
Brat. Indeed of courage. Erika laughed off this murder in disappointment, as though it was something she was watching on TV. I can't understand it. Why is her world so different from ours? It's almost like she's in a separate dimension from us. Well, wouldn't you know, Battler?
Was Jessica also like this? In a bed?
Yes, that's right. Just like George, her neck was cut.
Jessica. Let me be with Jessica. I haven't even seen Jessica's face yet! Jessica! Jessica!
Oh, wait up! Natsuhi-san! The culprit might still be hiding nearby! It would be dangerous to let her be alone!
Natsuhi flew out of the room and dashed towards the guest house this time. It was only natural. Natsuhi still hadn't even seen Jessica's dying face. Everyone probably thought that. Of course, even Natsuhi was half thinking that. The other half was her desire to shift everyone's attention away from the study. Strange crimes had occurred. The gold had been discovered, and some relatives have even recommended Battler to be the successor. Even in these twisted circumstances, she had to protect Kinzo's secret.
If my head is going to be racked by this suffering anyway, please, just let my head explode right now. That way, I won't have to suffer any longer.
So everyone, for Natsuhi-san's sake, let's return to the guest house for the time being. Though it's not as though seeing their dead faces is going to lead to any new developments.
Do you even have a heart?
A heart? What's that?
Dang. Dang!
Oh, I wish I could scroll back the scenes like I can the dialogue. So I
Yeah,
can
that was
see
a
the
good
face
little
again.
flash. If I can get that, that might be the next thumbnail.
Just seeing her daughter's dead face wouldn't bring Jessica back to life, nor would it heal Natsuhi's anguish. On the contrary, she would probably wail, wasting a considerable amount of time before being able to think properly again. This probably sums up Erika's screwed up argument. Just seeing their dying faces won't lead to any new developments?
Like hell it won't. Beato's pieces have brought about a really interesting change.
I had like a mini stroke there for a minute. I had to be like, did I read that right?
Yeah. Happens to the best of us from time to time.
Mini stroke.
What in the...
Natsuhi flew into the cousin room on the second floor of the guest house, and was struck dumb by the blood-stained beds and the eerie magic circle, which looked like it might have been drawn with the victim's blood.
Where is Jessica? Where is she? Jessica!
In that bed.
A bed? Where?
Huh? George? Where is he? Wait a sec. What the hell is going on here?
We made sure to lock this room when we left, right? We can now be certain the culprit has a master key. Once again, my reasoning was correct.
Who cares about that? Where did they go? Where did everyone's corpses go?
Nice trick.
Hey, look, it's magic, right? That Gap who's with Beato hid the corpses somewhere with magic.
All of us moved together. So you're trying to say that everyone had alibis?
You know, it's rare that we see base Lambda Delta, like the one that was before this current sprite at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking about that. She's almost always making one of these type of faces now.
Yeah.
Your reasoning goes like this, right? The 4 of them weren't actually dead, they were just playing dead. Then, when no one else was around, they hid somewhere. Am I right?
You don't intend to proclaim any of their deaths in red now, do you?
Of course I won't. Unlike that dolt Beato, I don't give red out for free.
In that case, I'll be glad to use the blue truth. I can think of many ways to work around something of this level.
Sure, go ahead. Blue truth time.
Here's the first one I can think of. The victims aren't actually dead. They pretended to be dead, then secretly hid themselves somewhere. After all, you haven't proclaimed anyone's deaths with the red truth.
Even though you've been shown their gaping wounds, you're still trying that one on principle, as long as there's no red, right?
Gosh, I don't know what's going on.
But don't get your hopes up. I'm not giving you a freebie red truth. After all, I just have to deny it all at once at the end of the game, at 2400 on October 5th. The witch's side has such a big advantage. It'd be all over now if that stupid battler was my opponent, but you aren't like that, right, Burn?
Of course. Anyone could have thought of that silly move. I have more. Second one. Kraus carried the corpses off and hid them. You've acted it out so that it looks like you've kidnapped Kraus and locked him up somewhere, but he might actually be free. Kraus has no alibi. Kraus hid their corpses.
Yeah, that's right. It's not like I proclaimed that Kraus...
Oh my gosh.
It's not like I proclaimed that Kraus was being confined with the red truth. You know how they say you've got to confuse your friends before you can confuse your enemies? So he lied to Natsuhi, making it seem like he'd been captured? Any others?
Third one. The corpses were different people in the first place. They were substitute corpses that closely resembled the victims. George and the others were hiding from the beginning and later cleared up those substitute corpses. These corpses were dead from the very beginning, so they don't count towards the number of people on the island.
That's messed up. So even though all those people gathered around and saw their dead faces, none of them realized they were substitute corpses?
Since you haven't used the red truth, there's a possibility that everyone misidentified all the corpses. Though if you feel like repeating, no one would misidentify a person, I'll withdraw that claim immediately. Okay?
No way. I'm not falling for that. The red truth's only useful if you use it with flash, right? I'll take a single truth out of a large pile of blue and smash it with the red. Then the rest of the blue truths will be swallowed up by darkness before you can find out whether they were right or wrong. That darkness is the world of witches. You won't be given any truth at all.
This girl acts like she's stupid, but she's not bad at all. She'll never rise to provocation. Looks like she understands the darkness of magic, even better than the true game master, Beato.
And I'm assuming this is still Burn.
And apparently, Gap also understood that well. That move of hiding the corpses. It was pretty effective for both Lambda and Beato.
Okay, yeah, it is.
In any event, I've thought up a full 3 theories about the disappearing corpses. 3 blue wedges for a single riddle. That doesn't mean she can just deny one of those 3. Unless she eliminates all 3 wedges, this riddle has been defeated. That's the ironclad rule of witch hunting. A single wedge isn't nearly enough. Only vampires die from a single stake. Compared to witches, vampires are weak. True witches won't die unless you stab them all over with stakes, right? It's the same with assassins, isn't it? It's only in Japanese manga that you see assassins kill their targets with a single perfect shot.
I don't think that's only in Japanese manga, but
Real assassins will empty out an entire magazine's worth of bullets. That's how you do things, right? Of course, it's the same for me. But it's this girl we're talking about, so she might slice it all in two with a single swipe of the red. By simply letting off a few quick lines, confirming their deaths and Krause's innocence with the red, she can remove all 3 of my wedges. Well, that's okay. When the red truth does come out, I just need to follow along with it and stab her full of blue wedges again. This is how a game of witches plays out. Oh, it's so fun. Battler's sluggish battles always pissed me off, so I'm loving this. Yeah, I understand, Lambda. This first Twilight is just the beginning of the beginning. It's just a skirmish, right? Wouldn't have it any other way. I'll make you lose pathetically and cry out in regret as you crawl and scratch at the floor. I've almost forgotten the pleasure of grabbing that cute hair of yours and wiping the floor with it as I roll around laughing.
holy moly.
Yeah.
The servant waiting room in the mansion had once again gone silent. There lay Genji's corpse, which had been covered completely with a blanket. In the ceiling of this cramped room, a pitch-black hole appeared. Hi, Gop! OMG, Gop, hi!
Hi.
Sorry.
What?
I don't know why that, of all things, is just like caught me off guard, but it did. Captivating legs sprouted out. I agree with the statement, and it caught me off guard. And Gop floated down.
Doink.
Sorry, Genji. You probably want to enjoy your eternal sleep right there, but that's not going to be possible. Please disappear from this place so that you may serve Natsuhi, the final head of the Ushiromiya family, even after death.
Gop stripped off the blanket as she said this to Genji, who was sleeping peacefully. Then she stared at the deep wound in his neck.
That's a nice cut. It must have been made with a single slice. Has anyone who's capable of this manifested yet? Not good. I can't think of anyone decent who might be capable of this.
Are we gonna get a cutty, slicey, cute anime servant girl next? It goes without saying, but witches are capable of summoning beings with a strength proportional to their own ability. The great Lady Lambda Delta called that being here as a trump card, 19th person. Even optimistically speaking. Oh, that's Gop, sorry.
True.
Even optimistically speaking, this is on par with Ronove and me.
A pitch-black hole opened on the bed, and Genji disappeared as though the bed had swallowed him up. Just like the 4 in the guest house, Genji's corpse was also hidden in some unknown place. It was a place that no one could find, located neither within this world nor the next. No longer would anyone be able to find their corpses. No longer would anyone be able to confirm their deaths. She carried Genji's corpse to this place of endless silence, where it would never be disturbed.
When there's no corpse, a person goes missing. When the person's missing, people both suspect that they might be the culprits and suspect that they might be victims. Truly, like the inside of a cat box. The darkness inside of cat boxes does never be opened. It's where demons and witches reside. You're a bit too slow, Miss Great Detective.
I'm waiting for her to pull a spy TF2 and be like, right behind you. Like,
Yeah.
Gop licked her lips and gulped.
I wonder why Gap-sama is going around hiding corpses.
I don't know, but Gop-sama's pretty cool. She's just so awesome.
Don't be stupid. What happened to standing guard? The humans are returning from the guest house. Gop-sama.
Yes, let's disperse. This should be enough to give Natsuhi a way out.
Gop jumped into a pitch-black hole that had opened near her feet. Mammon said,
I'm going in too.
and jumped in, followed by Osmo, who said,
Me too.
and hopped in, giggling. As Satan hesitated over what to do, the hole closed.
And you call yourselves members of the Seven Sisters of Purgatory. How childish. So stupid.
Satan went bright red and got angry all by herself, then turned into gold butterflies and disappeared.
Silly.
It seems Gop has succeeded in moving the 5 corpses.
Well done. However, the next part is tricky.
They will probably be somewhat surprised at the disappearance of Genji's corpse, but their interest will most likely swing back to Kinzo's study after that.
There are 2 keys to the study. It's fortunate that Natsuhi is in possession of both. If she had left one with Kenji, it would probably have fallen into Lady Lambda Delta's hands by now.
It seems that Lady Lambda Delta has no intention of hiding Kinzo's death. Apparently, she plans to fight while ignoring the moat, towers, and ramparts that you have created.
This has become a strange, triangular confrontation. We are all each other's enemies, but we will sometimes join forces without notice. In a 3-way fight, just when you think it's 2 against 1, it suddenly becomes 1 against 2. That's what it's like. That's Chinese Battle Royale.
Fortnite Battle Pass.
Don't you think it's like that Records of the 3 Kingdoms thing?
Oh, the Longjong plan.
Oh, the Longjong plan.
That's quite a sophisticated analogy to hear coming from you.
Everyone knows about the Longjong plan.
Of course. It's that cat that goes like, oh, Long Johnson, right?
There were 3 empires in Records of the 3 Kingdoms, weren't there? Wei, Wu, and Shu, right? That sounds just like us. So, which empire won out in the end?
The power that gained control in the end was the Jin dynasty.
Dang.
The 3 empires you mentioned were all destroyed.
Dang.
Oh. I didn't know that. I thought one of the 3 empires won. Didn't the Wei have an overwhelming advantage?
They had the position of emperor stolen from them, and the empire was subjugated and destroyed.
Okay, I guess we're just doing some Chinese history right now, guys.
Yep.
The Sima clan, a noble family that Cao Cao, I believe his name is pronounced Cao Cao, I don't remember, invited in as advisors, eventually gained central control in a power struggle and took over the country.
So they were invited in as advisors. and they seize control.
Erika?
Very interesting. And Lady Lambda Delta.
Or I guess that could also be an analogy for Lambda Delta and Burn in this situation as well.
Pardon me. The humans have confirmed the disappearance of Genji's corpse in the servant waiting room. They have started moving toward Lord's goldsmith's study.
Riche, is that coming? Let them come. The humans, and the witches of certainty and miracles.
I'm gonna say this is me.
If this is a three-way fight, then we've got humans, witches, and what should we be called? If the thing we're protecting for the time being is Kinzo's phantom, so are we phantoms then?
They really are a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
There's another chapter down.
Yay! I have to use the restroom.
Okay. You do that.
All right. Well, that's that one. Now, I doubt we're going to finish this upcoming chapter. I will relay it again whenever Levi returns, but that past chapter we just finished was called Morning of Tragedy. Which one could guess? We only have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters left. We're in the end game of episode 5 already, which is fast. But this next one, I won't say what it's called. I'm gonna wait till we're done. This next one looks like it's a big one though, and it's also gonna be a really exciting one. I'm very excited for this, but we will probably have to cut it halfway through this chapter. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I've mentioned before. I'm basing my knowledge of how long a chapter is solely based off of how much music is played, and I'm seeing a lot of songs being played for this one, so I'm assuming it's a long chapter. But maybe it's not. Maybe these songs happen very quickly one after the other, and they don't take up a lot of time. We will see. But there's going to be something fun that happens if all works out well. In fact, I should probably go ahead and prepare something before I forget. Oh, welcome.
Oh.
There we go. Oh, I was just telling them that I believe chances are we're going to have to stop halfway through this chapter.
This one? Okay.
Yep. Just because this one is looking like it's going to be a really long one. Yep.
All right, that's fine.
But maybe, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how we go. Yep.
Father, it's Natsuhi. Good morning.
There's no way he'll wake up if you do it like that. Father, it's Ava. Please wake up. Oh, it's an emergency.
Eva pushed Natsuhi aside and knocked repeatedly with all of her strength.
Quiet down! You're being too boisterous.
Is now really time to be saying something like that?
So he isn't picking up the phone, and he isn't responding to knocking either. That's troublesome.
He might be in a bad mood again. Genzo-san sometimes considers even the slightest change to be an omen, and guests get into a bad mood for reasons only he can understand.
Oh, yes, that's true.
This isn't something that started today.
Is that how badly grandfather wants to shut himself away in the study?
Yes, it's not uncommon for him to stay in a study for more than a month at a time.
Don't tell anyone, but even though I work here, I sometimes forget that the master even lives here.
Dang.
Goda! That's not the sort of thing a servant should be saying.
My apologies, madam. I am truly sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, isn't it bad that we can't get in contact with him? In the worst case, Father might not even know there's been a crime, right?
Well, I wonder.
Keenly noticing that people were starting to doubt Kinzo's existence, Canon mumbled those words.
Who was the last person to meet Father? And when? It was me. Last night. Up until the time of the uproar from when Battler found the gold, I was in Father's study, giving the daily report.
So at around 2300 last night.
No way around it. Let's open it up.
What did you say? This is the family head's precious study and research room. No one is permitted to trespass without permission, okay?
Who here holds the highest rank? Me, right?
It's Battler, dummy.
True. I'm the third in rank of the Ushuria family. If we open and get scolded by Father, that's also the responsibility of the highest ranked. Because of the urgent circumstances, we'll open this door. You have a key, right? Open it. I believe you know this, but the study door cannot be opened with the master key.
The master has recently taken away Genji-sama's key as well. So he has both keys on his person. Therefore,
Poor Shannon. Honestly, knowing that she's acting right there, she's pretty good at hamming up the nervous,
Isn't she?
the nervousness and making it seem real.
Yep.
So, both of the keys that can open this door are inside the study.
a closed room. Good though. It's finally starting to get a little interesting. It'd be pretty neat if Kinzo-san was lying on the bed in there with his throat cut.
Dang.
You're being far too indiscreet, Erika-san. Anyway, as you know, this door cannot only be opened by the keys that Father has. This door can only be opened, excuse me, not cannot. That means anyone, even a murderer, would find it impossible to even touch Father from outside the room. So Father must be okay.
Natsuhi, it might be better to play the he got killed card.
Still, that doesn't mean we shouldn't worry about confirming his safety. Are you really so unconcerned for the safety of the father you respect so much?
That isn't...
The atmosphere, which had been so agitated a second ago, suddenly went cold, and an eerie feeling filled the room as everyone stared at Natsuhi. They could understand why Natsuhi would protect the study under normal circumstances. People knew that she probably didn't want to disturb the research of Kinzo, a man she certainly respected, and she was therefore trying to keep the unpleasant relatives away. However, this was an extraordinary situation. A murder had occurred. Natsuhi's persistence in keeping things quiet for Kinzo, even in a situation like this, was hard to understand using common sense.
There's a good chance that the crime occurring on this island will turn out to be plotline murders mimicking the epitaph. It's probably a good idea to assume that the crimes will continue. If we view these as plotline murders, then it will keep going until a total of 13 lives are taken. Do you have any concept of how many victims that would be?
Wait a sec. How many people do you think there are on this island? Wouldn't that be almost everyone?
No, you've got it all wrong. As far as I know, the mystery novel with the most dead people and a serial murderer was And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, which had 10 deaths. In the realm of Japanese mysteries, it's probably the Tokyo Zodiac Murders by Shimada Soji.
They got a Zodiac killer too?
Guess so.
Though there were less than 10 deaths in that one.
So there's no way that more than 10 people could die in this one.
Did you know? If 13 people die, as it seems they will, it'll lead to the most infamous and famous development in the history of the mystery genre. The completion of a 13-person serial murder case, right? And if everyone on this island is killed, that'd make it a historical achievement in the world of serial murder mysteries, with even more deaths than the longest-running murder mystery in the world and the longest one in Japan put together, don't you see? Hey, didn't you know? Everyone? The culprit in this crime is giving us an incredible challenge, one that might even surpass all the mysteries throughout the world and throughout history. Of course, everyone realized that long ago, right? If you like mystery, Christie's a must-read. If you're Japanese, then it's only natural you've read Shimada Soji's works all the way through. Are you sure you've been reading enough, everyone?
He said the thing. Sorry. I just read chat. That blue toddler is weird. And evil. It's useless.
Huh?
Looks like you haven't read enough yourself.
Did I say something wrong?
Erika, who had been chatting away happily all by herself up until a second ago, changed her expression into a displeased glare in an instant. What were you saying about the Japanese mystery genre? Sakaguchi Ango's non-serial murders beats the Zodiac murders.
The number of people was the same in both, right?
They tie for the record, but non-serial murders was first published in 1947. The Zodiac murders was 1981. If you know so much about it, shouldn't you have mentioned non-serial murders first? What is this? What? That's a face. Erika glared at Battler with an expression that couldn't fully be described with the word shock. And her arms shook as she stood there, lost for words. She's angry.
What in the... That's also a face.
That's so totally lame. Well, that's understandable. The crimes in Zodiac took place in 1936, right? That must have gotten her confused, right?
Lambda Delta kept on hitting the table, overcome with laughter. Even Bernkastel, who had been struck with humiliation, snorted and started pounding the table and laughing in the same way.
This is just too good. Not bad, Peace Battler.
Dang, the poor table.
Oh no!
True.
Our table! It's broken!
I'm impressed. You must read a lot. Don't you, Battler-san?
Books? Please don't say I watched the movie. I hardly read those at all.
You liar. You know quite a lot, don't you?
I'd never say something as arrogant as, I'm a book reader. One of those dang book readers. I'm a book reader isn't something a person who doesn't even read 100 per year should say so lightly. Don't you think?
You mere piece.
Anyway.
We can't just let such a massive crime take place.
That's right. At any rate, checking Dad's safety is our first priority right now. But what should we do? He's ignoring the phone and on knocks. The keys are inside. There's nothing we can do. Are we supposed to knock this thick door down? That won't be easy. My father might have been attacked by someone and severely injured, and maybe he's waiting for someone to help him. This is an extraordinary circumstance. Even Father will understand. And if he has any rebukes, I'll be happy to take responsibility myself.
But breaking down a door would be quite rude.
Dang.
What about the window?
That's right. The window. Is there a ladder somewhere that can reach as high as the 3rd floor? We should be able to get inside by smashing the window.
Erika finally came back to her senses, and her tone regained its decisive edge. Actually, all of our windows are made of rubber, so it'll just bounce right off.
Doing.
A 3rd-story window? That would be dangerous.
We won't know unless we try. Is there a ladder around here that can reach out 3 floors?
I don't think the ladder in the gardening shed is long enough.
Oh, then what about the ladder in the boiler room? I remember using it earlier when a bird made a nest on top of the rain gutter. Yes, that would be able to reach without a doubt.
He must have been extremely happy about thinking of something Canon hadn't. Looking pleased with himself, as though he had won something, he glanced around at everyone.
What do you think, everyone?
Yeah, even Goda is capable of such reasoning. That's, it has a different connotation when you say even Goda.
Yeah.
He was probably hoping that Natsuhi would praise him, but she quickly avoided his gaze. Of course, Canon had known about that ladder too. However, in order to protect Kenzo's secret, he had intentionally pretended to have forgotten.
But with this weather and the strong winds, isn't this just too dangerous?
I agree. If someone gets seriously injured, we can't go to a hospital until tomorrow, right?
The wind might not be as strong in the courtyard. I think it's at least worth it to take a look.
But truly, going up to the 3rd floor will be quite a challenge. Back when we had to clean up the bird's nest, most of the servants shrank away from the danger. And that's when I, your humble servant, took on a major role in spectacularly handling the situation. Right, then there's no problem. Let's just get a ladder that'll reach.
And it looks like someone here already has experience with this sort of thing.
Huh?
Dang. Now that was a Marvel moment.
It was.
What the scallop?
True. Being like, wait, what are you all looking at?
Yes. The courtyard was surrounded on all 4 sides, so while the rain was still fierce, the winds had almost no effect. Fortunately, the ceiling jutted out just a bit, so even in the rain it wasn't so bad.
Okay. Let's try standing the ladder up. Be careful. Don't hurt yourself.
Sure. Rudolf and Badler carried the special ladder, which was designed for work on high places. 2 umbrellas followed the pair. Shannon and Canon were holding umbrellas and sheltering them from the rain.
It doesn't matter if we get wet. Go back under the eaves. Go to some. Even if there's something wrong with your knees, you can at least hold a ladder down, right?
Yes. If only I had enough. What?
Hyaluronic? Hyaluronic. I'm assuming that's like a medication?
high molecular mass polysaccharide found in the extracellular matrix.
Oh!
It is an important thing found throughout the body for joint health, skin protection, and more.
Okay.
Although it's usually referred to as hyaluronic acid.
If only I had enough hyaluronic, going up a ladder would be no problem at all. I'm truly sorry.
Goda clambered forward to replace Shannon and Canon. As she watched this, Kyrie giggled. Dad! Hammer!
Cool. Butler, you love athletics, don't you?
Sorry. For some reason, when he just goes, Dad, hammer, I just imagine Rudolph clocking Goda over the head with a hammer.
Dad, hammer. Dink.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
True.
Oh. Not as much as I love my cool handyman dad. What?
You little brat. What is this? Sheesh. I guess I've got to show this son of mine my good side every once in a while. Battler, go to son. Hold that ladder down tight.
Rudolph's gonna do it.
And make sure you're looking up, okay?
He's so cool.
He is. My hand might slip and you'll have this hammer tumbling down on you.
Don't worry. I'll catch it and smash your head in. After putting the hammer they'd gotten to smash the window in his pocket and cracking his knuckles, Rudolph started climbing. What?
I get that was a little battler joke, but doesn't he think the timing might be a little poor given what's been happening?
Well, no one's died via head smashing in this one like they had in
I
previous
suppose.
ones. So it's not as morbid of a joke, but it is still a pretty morbid joke right now.
Yeah.
Would be wild if Battler was the murderer.
Mm-hmm.
The best way to not cast suspicion on yourself is to pretend as though you are suspicious.
Yeah. Man, what I would give to just kill you guys now.
Will Rudolph-sama be okay?
He'll be fine. That guy could totally be in an action movie. Plus, sports are one of his strong points.
I wish you'd tell me how my skating prowess is supposed to help me climb ladders. What in the world? Okay. I mean a Bauer. Always in a big pinch. Or whatever. Who the heck?
He'll manage to avoid dying, so there's nothing to worry about. More importantly, we're really lucky the shutters aren't down. Isn't it a more common practice to lower the shutters to Father's study for the night?
Oh, it was a figure skater.
Ah.
I mean, that makes sense, I guess.
Yes. When we're permitted to enter and exit, we open and close them in the morning and at night. However, I think it was decided that such a thing was unnecessary for the time being, so it was left open.
I see. Father will be pretty mad, won't he? If his son smashes his window and comes in while he's sleeping.
That's probably...
It'd be wonderful if we didn't have to smash the window. Don't you think?
Both Shannon and Canon knew that Kenzo no longer existed in this world. Natsuhi had ordered them to interfere as much as possible. But now that it had come to this, there was nothing the two of them could do. They're doing their best. They had tried to interfere by pretending they didn't know about a ladder that could reach up to the third floor window, but because of Goda showing off, that ladder had been found.
It's even better that it wasn't him actually... He did not have a dub on them. He just goofed it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Rudolph carefully climbed the ladder. He would reach the third floor window very soon. As he did this, Shannon and Canon stared at him, looking uneasy. Beatrice, kill him! Gets struck by lightning.
Yep.
That would be crazy. After this, what will happen next? To the two of them? To Madam? To the Master? Very soon, Rudolf will reach the window.
So, it's already the end for this room's barrier.
The soldiers are scaling the ramparts, trying to reach the other side. The moment of surrender is truly right before our eyes. I am prepared to be erased at any moment.
We can't let that happen. You have to remain alive, even if it means crawling through the dirt. I'll think about what to do next. For now, escape from this place.
You may say that, but what can I do? Eva and the rest are still camped out in the hallway, and Rudolf is approaching the window. There's no way of retreat through the door or the window.
Turlet.
In that case, perhaps you could hide under the bed. So I am not even permitted the chance to wait for the enemy's arrival in my throne.
Sorry, me just saying toilet and then him mentioning a throne.
True.
Because we know there's a bathroom. They've mentioned it every once in a while.
Yep.
But there's a bathroom
Yep.
connected to this. And also, sorry, I've been dying to mention this. Every time the bathroom gets brought up in this room, it just makes me think of the time that that you did an Umineko adventure when we played D&D, and TJ found Kenzo on the toilet.
True.
I just envision that every time they mention the bath, which they haven't mentioned the bathroom in here in a long time. But
Yeah.
since I mentioned it, I thought about it and had to let you all know about it.
I never thought about the value of being able to scale or fly and such. So I was like, well, I mean, I guess what would happen? And I was like, you know what? Maybe that.
Oh.
You might have done that while you were still alive. But now you're a ghost that Natsuhi and I brought to life. Ghosts should do what ghosts do best and hide under the bed or in a closet.
That's creepy to say.
Yeah.
Will something like that really deceive their eyes? My.
Don't worry. I'll be with you.
Me jumping into the closet faster than the speed of sound.
Yeah.
I'll let you escape at the last moment.
It'll be dangerous for you. Even though you're a demon, you won't get away unscathed if you're burned by the magic-resisting toxin.
Don't worry about that. Anyway, I need things to get at least that bad before my heart starts pumping.
How comforting. I understand. I'll hide under the bed.
That was brought up way back in like episode 1, wasn't it? When they were talking about the receipt.
Yeah, indeed.
They were like, what
Correct.
if Battler was like, what if he hid under the bed?
What if he's under the bed? Yeah.
Yeah.
Milady, Rudolf will reach the window very soon. She's not having it.
Gob, I've changed my mind. I'll guard this place.
She is gonna kill Rudolph.
Hide yourself along with Ronove.
I don't know if that's new or not, but that's a shocked Ronove is a rare one.
I think it is one of those very slightly different than what we've seen in the past. It's kind of like
Yeah.
updated for Answers arcs.
What did you say? You've got it backwards. Didn't we plan to leave this place to Gop and have you retreat, milady?
Though Ronove should have been used to her fickleness, this surprised him for the first time in a long while. Beato may have been a powerful queen, but she was also an important piece that mustn't be exposed to danger. Though she was strong, running to the front lines without any plan would not be a praiseworthy move. She's got to have something in mind.
What kind of whim is this? It's just a whim. I'm not so fond of boredom that I could simply sip tea while leaving everything to you. I've just gotten the urge to jump into the struggle right away. I understand. It is your game after all. You can do as you wish. I'll carefully watch over the corpses of the first twilights that I erased, making sure nothing happens to them. Sorry for stealing your time to shine.
Is this really acceptable, milady?
You should know I like showing off even more than my 3 meals a day.
Even that one looks just slightly different as compared to Questions arcs.
True. I've done nothing but gobble up Gap's turn. Don't worry about it.
Ronove and Gop both fell silent. The two of them had already noticed. Lady Bernkastel, who used Furudo Erika as a piece, was a terrifying opponent. This fight would probably be terrifying as well. Beato couldn't expose Gop, her friend, to this danger. Beato bluffed and said that wasn't the case, but Ronove and Gap had already figured it out. Therefore, after confirming Beato's resolve one last time and seeing that she was completely firm in her decision, they nodded in silence and accepted it.
I understand. I'll leave this place to you. I'm rooting for you. Take care.
That one's new.
Yeah.
Yeah, please watch over my efforts to your heart's content.
Lady Bernkastel will probably start trying to expose Kinzo's absence with a closed room argument. Fights in a closed room are normally Gap's area of expertise. Queens are commanders because they're best at fighting in wide open areas. This won't be an easy fight.
I'm fully aware of that. I currently serve Natsuhi. Watching Natsuhi's danger from above and letting Gap take care of it doesn't make sense to me.
Understood. I wish you luck in battle.
Be careful. If it becomes a complete closed room, we won't be able to come in and help you.
Rudolf got his foot stuck on like one of the rungs of the ladder or something.
He's looking in the gutters and he's like, I think that's my toy from when I was 12.
Yeah.
He's like, check this out, it's a race car.
Rattler, look.
Yeah.
Drops the hammer. He has to go back down and get it.
Yep.
I'll laugh at them a bit, and if things get bad, I'll just grab Kinzo and run for it. It's easy. With the door and the window, the past and the future to choose from, there are plenty of places to run to. Of course, I won't let this become a closed room. So you won't see us. We'll be cheering on you from very close by. Good luck. Sure.
Bright light.
Yeah. Gop and Ronove became a swarm of gold butterflies and disappeared. And Kinzo melted into the darkness beneath the bed. I imagine the Homer Simpson disappearing into the shrubbery.
True.
But Kinzo melting into the bed.
Another thing that I partially wish had gotten animated, but it probably would have been done lazily anyway.
Yeah. Then, Beato also became a swarm of gold butterflies and melted away inside the study. After that, all figures and signs of life had disappeared from the study, and it once more regained a silence, as though no one had been there from the beginning. Then, Rudolph's outline slipped into view from beyond the window's curtain. Oh, hi, Rudolph. Hi.
Yeah, what in the world? Dad! If you're there, answer! Dad!
As he yelled, he hit the window. His foothold was so uncertain that just hitting the window felt life-threatening. Dang, how bad's this ladder?
It is 3 stories. That's kind of
true,
It's a little spooky.
But of course, this was Rudolph, the show-off. Deciding that he couldn't do anything stupid with so many people watching from below, He suppressed the fear from being so high up and boldly knocked on the window. Come on, grandfather. Can't he hear?
I wonder. I hope he doesn't drop the hammer.
Oh, he's gonna drop the hammer, if you know what I'm saying.
Elbow drops Goda from 3 stories up.
True.
I don't know why this is the hypothetical Goda abuse stream, but it is.
How many seconds have passed?
It's been 30 seconds since he knocked on the window. So, he'll really smash it? Master, he'll be very mad.
Well, someone was kind enough to brag about how accepting that anger is her duty, so there's no need to worry. Rudolf-san, that's enough. Do it.
Sure. Damn it, Dad, you better not complain after I smash it. Doink.
He hit it several times, and eventually, a fist-sized hole opened up in the glass. Because of his unstable footing, this took a lot of effort. Using the edge of the hammer skillfully, he brushed aside the now fractured bits of glass and opened the hole further, stuck his hand through it, and unlocked the window. Then, after a hard struggle, Rudolf somehow managed to open the window, and his body slipped through into the study. After that, he flopped onto the floor, using his entire body to enjoy the relief of having a ground under him.
Dad, it's Rudolf. Answer me.
It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that Kinzo's study was a small villa he had created inside the mansion. A study, a library, a place to sleep, and a bathroom and washroom. It was divided into multiple rooms. That's right. With all this at your... Sorry. With all this at your fingertips, it wouldn't be hard to spend your days in this study without leaving it all. The bed was empty. There were marks on it that made it seem as though someone had slipped out, but there was no one in sight.
This happens a lot in ninja movies. Someone finds that the bed is still warm, so the occupant couldn't have gone far.
Rudolf tried placing his hand on the bed, but he couldn't feel any heat at all. Not only was there no heat, it felt completely ice cold. And the bed wasn't the only thing that was ice cold. The air inside the room, and even the presence about it, if that's the right word for it, even that felt ice cold. To Rudolf, it felt as though Kinzo had slipped out of this room a long time ago.
However, it's been well cleaned. There's signs of having been lived in.
Wrinkles in the bed, the slight angle of the chair. Here and there were many marks that would doubtlessly have been cleaned or fixed up if someone had come in to make the beds.
As far as I can tell off the top of my head, Dad must have slipped out of bed several hours ago at the latest.
That would be the same general time period as the brutal murder case. Guess we can't be sure Kinzo's absence and the crime are completely unrelated. For the time being, he leaned out the window and told Kyrie and the others in the courtyard to come back up since he was going to unlock the door. Then, he pushed the button on the study desk and released the door's auto-lock. There was a heavy clunking sound, and Natsuhi and the rest dashed in immediately.
Father, good morning.
Sorry, but it isn't Dad. I'm the one who opened it.
Was Kinzo-san there?
Nope. It looks like someone slipped out of the bed, but you can't tell when that happened. And Natsuhi-san was the last person to meet him, right? At around 11 o'clock last night? I wonder if that means he slipped out of the study sometime after that and went somewhere else.
That's... Well, we must consider Father's fickle nature. It wasn't at all uncommon for him to suddenly wake in the middle of the night, claiming to have had a revelation in a dream, and walk around the mansion. Isn't that right, Dr. Nanjo?
True. This has happened before. Anyway, he is a fickle person. Right? Kumasawa-san?
They're so sus in this version.
Oh, that's true. Perhaps he had a strange dream and slipped out of bed. That isn't uncommon at all. Yes.
Then where did he slip off to? Does this mean there's a good chance Father's been caught up in this crime?
See? We should have checked to make sure Father was safe from the beginning, right?
No.
We can't be sure he isn't in this room. Maybe the culprit tied him up and locked him in the closet or something like that.
Good point. Let's search.
Oh no!
This is the head's precious study. You mustn't touch things without reason.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's something I need to tell you, culprit-san.
When Natsuhi heard this said right in front of her, her heart froze. But Erika had only just happened to be standing right in front of Natsuhi when she said it. She had directed her words to the room at large. She had been speaking to Natsuhi in particular. Natsuhi turned her back on Erika, trying to prevent her faltering expression from being noticed.
I have a photographic memory.
Of course you do.
If you try to alter the crime scene by hiding some evidence, I'll know right away. Please don't slip up here and disappoint me. Any mystery where the whodunit is solved by a culprit's slip-up or misspeak is only third-rate, don't you think?
I don't understand what you're saying, but try to refrain from incautious remarks. Father, are you there? Please answer me.
Natsuhi started walking around and calling out in a loud voice, refusing to let Erika say any more.
Yeah.
There was a knock. Kyrie and the others, who had gone down to the courtyard, had returned.
So Father isn't here after all?
He might be tied up and shut away somewhere around here. We were just searching for him.
I'm surprised he managed to shut himself away in a place like this for all that time.
I'm not. I would be doing the same thing. Give it up, Nay-san. We can't change anything now.
I wonder what Madam plans to do.
Get paid back for all the lies she's told up until now. Shh. Let's leave fate in God's hands.
Yes.
Many people clambered around Kinzo's vast study, looking here and there. Inside the closet, and in the bathtub, even in the refrigerator and under the study desk. Did you check the toilet? Oh no, skibbity Kinzo. They looked everywhere, almost as though they were it in a game of hide and seek. However, not only were they unable to spot Kinzo, they couldn't even find a single suspicious mark. It wasn't written down anywhere that they searched under the bed. So as of right now, I'm operating under the assumption they did not search under the bed.
He's just there. He's under the bed.
It seems clear that Father isn't here. That's enough. Please don't disturb Father's precious study any further.
That's right. That's right. There's nothing the Master hates more than having things moved around without his permission. Father's nowhere to be found. Maybe he really was caught up in the crime.
Though we can't be sure of that.
Natsuhi averted her gaze once more.
It's okay, Natsuhi.
We truly do have our backs against the wall. On the off chance that someone entered the study, I had planned to trick them by saying he'd probably gone for a walk somewhere. However...
No one would believe that I'd get dressed up for a casual midnight stroll in a mansion where murder has occurred and many people have been killed. Though I wouldn't put it past myself to do such a thing.
Come now, Kinzo. Be a good boy and hide under the bed.
Back under the bed.
It's okay, Natsuhi. You may remain calm. It's possible to prove that someone exists, but you can't prove that someone doesn't exist. In other words, the human world is one in which, regardless of whether something exists or not, you can make it so that they exist. And the shadows that can make such things exist are themselves the world of us witches, the world of demons.
You mean... a devil's proof?
Yes. So don't worry. The power of demons will most certainly protect you.
If it could protect the honor of the father and my husband, I wouldn't mind sacrificing this body of mine to demons.
Careful what you wish for, Natsuhi.
That seems strange to me.
That's a
sprite.
strangely kind Beatrice sprite.
Yeah. I don't trust it.
Your resolve is good. Don't be anxious. I most certainly will not let Kinzo be killed.
At that time, a dry sound suddenly rang out twice.
Oh. Close enough.
Erika had clapped her hands, seeking everyone's attention. Though such an action should have been above a guest's place, for some reason, it already felt like a natural right of hers.
I gotta become a detective, bro.
After all, she was the detective.
I think that's enough. Yoshiromyo Kinzo-san is nowhere to be found in this study.
Yeah, we've searched everywhere he could have been hiding. Dad's nowhere to be seen. Furthermore, we found nothing that looks suspicious.
Yes, we didn't find anything at all.
Erika said it again. They hadn't been able to discover anything.
In that case, we mustn't loiter around this room. Do you understand how angry Father would be if he learned that so many people were looking through his study? Eva-san, you said you were prepared to take responsibility, didn't you? Are you prepared for him to break off relations with you for the rest of your life?
That's for Father to decide, not you.
Silence, please. I'd like to lay out the situation. At 2300 last night, the last person to meet Kinzo-san in this room was Natsuhi-san, right? Can anyone confirm that?
Confirm?
Yes, that's right. After all, the only one who claims that Natsuhi-san really did stop by here at 2300 last night is Natsuhi-san herself. There wouldn't be a problem if Kinzo-san confirmed that Natsuhi-san really did come here last night. But that vital witness isn't here.
So, you're saying alibis are the foundation of a mystery?
Yes, that's right. Alibis are important. Of course, they're almost useless when it comes to the actual theory making, but it's common courtesy to poke around those boxes.
Huh. Even though you didn't ask for alibis regarding last night's murder, you are doing it for grandfather's disappearance. You really are a fickle person.
Oh, don't worry. Have no fear that I will fully examine everyone's alibis regarding the murders of the first Twilight later. So, can anyone confirm that Natsuhi-san visited here at 2300? If no one can, we'll be forced to doubt whether Natsuhi-san really was the last person to spot him.
Are you saying that I can't be trusted?
No, it's actually quite the opposite.
just she says it the opposite, but oh well.
I hope that you aren't the culprit. After all, that'd make this really boring. Only the worst third-rate mysteries have the most suspicious person as the culprit.
Dang. Natsuhi-san is suspicious? Wait a second. How can you say that? He's right. Calling Madam suspicious is the height of discourtesy.
Be quiet! Dr. Nanjo, Koda, thank you. Erika-san, do you have some sort of proof to justify such a rude outburst?
Yes. Though it's so simple that it annoys me. Sorry to bother you with this TV drama quality evidence, but if you don't mind...
Why don't you just let us hear it? When Battler glared at her, a cold expression rose to Erika's face for an instant. She was slighted by him once. Now hates his guts.
Prepare to become intellectually.
I can. But it was only for an instant. Loses once. After
It's the Pippa bit. It's the Pippa bit
Yeah,
about
yeah.
her getting complimented and
Yeah.
being like, I've already come up with 1,000 ways to how I would come back to him.
Yeah. Oh my god, that would be so good if we remade that tweet format, but with Battler and Erika.
No, I might if I can track it down.
Oh. After smiling peacefully and gazing around at everyone, she started to talk. She looked like the main character in a play, who had come out onto the stage bathed in a spotlight. They really liked this play analogy with her.
Yeah.
It's about this morning. Please remember the time after the murders occurred, during the big uproar that followed. We wanted to tell Kinzo-san about the crime, but he wouldn't come out, no matter how many times we called him on the telephone. Remember that time.
Keep this in mind.
Anyway, isn't it bad that we can't get in contact with him? In the worst case, Father might not even know there's been a crime, right?
Well, I wonder.
Keenly noticing that people were, this is just word for word what it said earlier, noticing that people were starting to doubt Kinzo's existence, Kanon mumbled those words.
Who was the last person to meet Father? And when? It was me. Last night, up until the time of the uproar from when Battler found the gold, I was in Father's study, giving the daily report.
Saw it around 2300 last night.
Oh, that's when the quick flash happened.
Yeah. Erika chuckled significantly. How do you
Significant
How do you
chuckle.
significantly chuckle? Yeah.
And what's your point? Ridiculous.
I think Kirie-san probably did that intentionally. Am I right? What do you mean by that?
I hoped someone might fall for it.
I see. Thanks, Kirie-san. Actually, I was planning to say the same thing if you didn't.
Is who saw the master last really that important?
Yes. If we take the circumstances into account, then in response to the question, who met him last, it was very odd for Natsuhi-san to instantly answer me.
Why? Madam told the truth without hiding anything.
Be quiet! Why do you think it was odd?
Why are you so sure that no one else met Kinzo-san after 2300?
Well, that's because I watched as he went to bed. It's only natural to assume that he would then sleep until morning and not meet with anyone.
Considering the circumstances, it was easy to suspect the last person to spot him of having some kind of involvement with this case. A normal person in Natsuhi-san's position wouldn't say I was the last person to meet him. I met him at 2300. Right, Kirie-san?
Yes, that's correct. A normal person would say, I met him at 2300. However, I'm not sure I was the last person to meet him. Something like that.
Good, though. Claiming to be the last witness is usually quite difficult. That is, unless you know something that makes you sure there were no other witnesses after you. In third-rate mysteries, the last one to spot the victim is often the culprit. They killed the victim themselves, so they knew that no one else could have met the culprit later on, is how the argument goes.
Couldn't that be nothing more than a minor misspeak? It's not important enough to be picked up out of the blue and focused on.
Yes, that's nothing more than nitpicking. Isn't it a little too early to suspect Natsuhi-san because of a little slip of the tongue like that? Furthermore, you said she'd need a reason to be sure no one else spotted the master. But of course, she had such a reason. She left the room after seeing the master go to bed. Following common sense, it's perfectly natural to assume that he probably wouldn't meet anyone else until the next morning.
No, that isn't natural at all. After all, Natsuhi-san, Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa-san all made this claim a short while ago. Please, try to remember.
And Natsuhi-san was the last person to meet him, right? At around 11 o'clock last night? I wonder if that means he slipped out of the study sometimes after that and went somewhere else.
That's... Well, we must consider Father's fickle nature. It wasn't at all uncommon for him to suddenly wake in the middle of the night, claiming to have had a revelation in a dream and walk around the mansion. Isn't that right, Dr. Nanjo?
True. This has happened before. Anyway, he is a fickle person. Right, Kumasawa-san?
Oh, that's true. Perhaps he had a strange dream and slipped out of bed. That isn't uncommon at all. Yes.
Yeah. We definitely do have testimony that it wasn't at all uncommon for Grandfather to suddenly slip out of bed late at night.
Good, though. Your memory's not bad, Battler-san. In other words, it's common knowledge to those in the Ushiomiya head house, Natsuhi-san included, that Kinzo-san might wake up in the middle of any given night on a whim and wander around. On top of that, they are aware that this happens quite often.
Isn't that odd? If you knew Father often wanders around at night, there's no way you could be certain that he'd stay in his bed until morning, right? It really is like a third-rate mystery. You know, that thing they do in the last 5 minutes, where the culprit asks, "When did you first realize it was me?" and the detective answers?
Seriously. That's why I feel let down. If it turns out Natsuhi-san really is the culprit, this will be worse than a TV mystery. That's why I want to clear away the suspicions surrounding Natsuhi-san as soon as I can. I want to make sure this mystery isn't third-rate before I do anything else. There's no need to get anxious, Natsuhi. This is a classic word game used by detective wannabes.
Dang.
What exactly is her point? How could she possibly corner you with this accusation alone? In the court of hell, all of the demon jurors will declare you innocent. So calm down and don't get flustered.
It may be true that Aunt Natsuhi looks suspicious when you say it like that. Still, it sounds like you're just nitpicking to me.
But it is suspicious. Isn't this more than enough reason to suspect that Natsuhi-san's hiding something?
All the unfair accusations! And how cowardly of you, Eva-san! You're the sole person who can confirm that I really was here at 2300, aren't you?
Is this true, Eva-san?
Oh, did that happen? I'm sorry. At the time, I was losing my head because of the recently discovered gold. So I forgot all about bumping into Natsuhi-san until just a second ago.
So, Ava-san, you can confirm that Natsuhi-san was a witness at 2300?
Yes, unfortunately. I'm able to acknowledge that one part of Natsuhi Nei-san's story, but only that she came out of this room.
What are you implying?
Oh, I'll tell you. In fact, I've wanted to say this for a long time now. I do realize it's improper to bring this up in the middle of such a tragic murder case, but the timing now is just too perfect. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Natsuhi Nei-san?
The servants gulped and held their breaths.
Mm.
It seemed that they hadn't been able to hide it, after all. In the middle of this heavy silence, Ava fingered her trump card, and Natsuhi
Really?
tried
Right in
to
front of
act
everybody?
calm. Shut up. Both space and time grew heavy as lead, and swallowed up everything.
Just when did Kinzo-san disappear, I wonder?
Erika's words, spoken almost casually, tore that atmosphere to pieces like shattering glass.
Simply put, we haven't met him once at the family conferences this year or last.
That's right. We've suspected it since last year. Seeing as how my son and the others have just been killed, this may not be the time to place to press you on this. But there's a chance that this has something to do with the crime, so pressing you is just what we'll do.
It's possible that you have a motive for hiding Father's death. We have reason to suspect that you're embezzling his assets.
If Father were to die, an investigation would be conducted for the distribution of the assets, and your embezzlement would be exposed. That's why you hid the fact that Father's already dead.
I see. That's more than enough for the why done it. This keeps getting more and more third rate.
Dang.
Boring.
She just doesn't understand Peaky Neko.
I don't know what you're talking about. You say I'm hiding the head's death? I most certainly won't forgive such a reckless accusation.
That's right. In addition to Madam, the other servants take care of the master on a daily basis, and they see him all the time. Genji-san, Shannon-san, and Kanon-kun. Even Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa-san met with him often. Perhaps because he doesn't trust me. I haven't seen him even once since last year, but...
God, you are no help.
Be quiet, Goda!
My apologies.
Thanks, Goda.
Goda. Whew, okay.
Aren't all of the witnesses, besides Natsuhi-san, servants employed by her? So you used money to make them follow your story. Oh man, this really is third rate. Pitiful. Pitiful. I'm disappointed, Natsuhi-san. So I guess I'll have to finish this now.
Finish what?
Shiromiya, Kinzo-san.
What is it? Uninvited guest.
You don't exist, do you? You're a ghost whose death was concealed by those humans who didn't want it known because of the inheritance problem. Ghosts are supposed to quickly pass on to the next world. Even though this is the first time we've met, I've yet to give you a proper greeting. My apologies. Good day. Pleased to meet you. And goodbye.
So close to Erika's face that you could barely have wedged a sheet of paper between them. Beato's pipe came to a sudden stop.
Here we go.
And a good day to you, too.
Oh, this is gonna suck for me, isn't
It's
it?
gonna suck for you, but this is the showdown I've been waiting for.
Me downing a bottle of water before
Yeah.
this.
Good luck.
I I am the Ushinomiya family alchemist, Beatrice the Golden. I'll be your opponent in this fight from here on out. Glad to meet you. I'm the detective of this game, Furudo Erika. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. And now, goodbye. So, you're Lady Barncastel's next piece after Ange. I'm afraid I didn't get to fight with her to my satisfaction in the end. I'm glad I'll be able to lock horns with you this time. Lady Barncastel's piece. My master is almighty, omnipotent. A fool like you couldn't even begin to compare with her. I accept your challenge. You really are calm. Even though a witch has appeared before you and is about to fight with magic and fantasy. If you were a battler, you'd be lying on the ground, screaming that this can't possibly be a mystery anymore.
She misses him so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, even in the mystery genre, parallel universes like this have gotten popular lately. You know about pure reasoning space and all that.
Hey, who doesn't know about pure reasoning?
Ayatsuji Yukito doesn't make his debut until next year.
Dang.
You sure are picky for a witch. Haha, you think you're on the same level as a witch?
Add another tally to the slightly different chibi.
True, wait, whoa.
Not chibi, but I...
Sprite.
Sprite. I don't
I
know
know what
why I
you meant.
mixed that word. I don't...
Don't be so full of yourself, you mere human.
When Beato snapped her fingers, something bounced around the room at terrifying speeds.
Run away.
It was it was a stake of the witch. A witch's wedge that contained the power of the blue truth within it. Excuse me? Blue truth? Of course, a mere human like Erika couldn't follow that terrible speed with her eyes. Erika understood this, so she didn't attempt to look every which way, stupidly trying to spot it.
Eat this, fool.
With a terrible sound, Lucifer's blue stake buried itself into Erika's right collarbone. It pierced all the way through her back. Lucifer spun and rebounded, landing in front of Beato, and vanished with a shrill laugh. Erika wasn't blown back, but she had been run through by the blue wedge.
So, this is that so-called blue truth. Well then, let me hear your views. You can't deny the possibility that Natsuhi met with Kinzo at 2300. During the 6 hours or more before you pushed your way into the study, Kinzo had many chances to escape from it. Because of this, you can't state decisively that Kinzo doesn't exist.
Beato announced that with an expression worthy of her title as witch. Erika was silent. Was she too shocked to speak? There was no anguish in her expression. She was just quietly listening to Beato's blue truth. No, judging by her disdainful expression, it's probably more appropriate to say that Beato's words went in one ear and out the other.
Good though. Let's start with the classic moves. By the way, this thing really is stuck good. I can't take it out.
She tried pulling from the front and back of the blue wedge that pierced her, but it didn't budge an inch. However, her indifferent, relaxed expression didn't budge an inch either.
You can't take it out. The blue truth can only be defeated by the red truth. For one such as yourself, a guest who came to this island at most a day ago, there's no truth that can possibly be known. That means there exists no red that you can use.
Ooh, that's nasty.
In other words, this is checkmate.
Although she did use the red earlier as detective, so can't say that. You can't say there is no red you can use in red, Beatrice. That's not true. Did
Well,
both
she's
of
having a
them
good
just
time.
laugh at the same time?
Maybe.
I heard it overlapped.
I see. So that's what kind of space this is. In that case, I'll need a piece suitable for fighting a witch. I'm the detective. My role is to take on the human culprit. You are a witch, and there does exist a fitting piece to use against witches and demons. Let me introduce you. Miss Dlanor,
It's time.
it looks like it's your turn.
And it's me.
Yeah. If we had counted man from 19 years ago, then it would have been me, and I was like, I'm not doing double duty. So that's why I made you double up. Oh. Dlanor.
I thought so. I was certain you'd bring that piece in sooner or later. The 10 wedges with which to hunt witches. The Archbishop of Witch Hunting, Dlanor.
There's no more fitting piece in a battle against demons. I have my double, Erika, and the greatest natural enemy of witches, Dlanor. I've now taken control of the 7th rank with my 2 rooks. Let me show you, Lambda Delta. And you too, Beatrice. Now you'll see how useless your struggling is.
This song that's playing, this is the first time we're hearing it, and it's called Justice.
The air shone brightly, and the piece Erika had guided there showed its form. That form resembled a clergy member perfectly suited for confronting an evil witch. Oh god, okay. Wait.
Yeah. And you know she does those caps a lot, so
Yep.
figure something out.
Oh gosh. I'm trying to think of what I have heard of her voice.
She's young sounding.
Yep.
She's very monotone.
It is a pleasure to meet you. Dlanor A. Knox is my name.
I like it.
Oh god, this one's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
I've locked in now though. I have to like make an air bubble in my throat to do this one.
Don't worry, one day you're just gonna like click it in like I
It's
did
like
with the
with
Shannon
Shannon.
voice. Yeah.
Even though this space was like a bomb just waiting to go off, she introduced herself in a neat and frank manner. Her out-of-place appearance, completely different from those of demons and witches, felt blatantly odd and had a kind of severity to it.
This is the first time I've met you, but I've heard all the rumors. So, this doesn't truly feel like a first meeting.
The same goes for me, Miss Beatrice. The detailed materials Einstein Jungfrau has on you are summarized in 600 pages. I always read such reports, so this doesn't feel like a first meeting to me either.
And I think she's popped up in the thingy.
Ah,
Maybe. I heard a sound effect. Yarp.
what is that get up?
What?
Look at those. Look
What?
at those. What are those?
She's a piece.
That means you have to wear pants like that?
Yeah.
Dlanor A. Knox, a member of the Einstein Jungfrau, the 7th District Repentance Enforcement Agency of the Great Court of Heaven. Dang. A head inquisitor of heresy and a first-class archbishop. She is commonly known as Dlanor of the 10 Wedges or Death Sentence Dlanor. The name Death Sentence comes from the fact that though inquisitors of heresy normally judge their targets to see whether they deserve the death penalty or not, Head Inquisitor Dlanor is only dispatched after a case has been vigorously inspected by the Great Court. Therefore, the very act of dispatching her is equivalent to a sentence of death. Second character to get a second page? Her father was a legendary inquisitor of heresy, but he broke the rules and was executed. She was the one who performed his interrogation and execution. Since that time, she has stopped growing. Both her body and mind remain eternally those of a young maiden. It is whispered that her heart also died in that moment, but she does not see it that way. Her primary weapons are the red key and the blue key, which take the form of a long sword and a short sword.
All right. And that's probably what we're going to have to call it.
Oh, but I'm so excited.
I know. You can carry it into the next one, which also, unfortunately, won't be until next Thursday.
I'm so excited to get to do.
Yep.
That's.
Oh,
I was really hoping I got her.
I won't say the party's all here or the gang's all here just yet, but we got we have, like, I would say, what is the majority of the Umineko people? You know what I'm
Quite
saying?
the cast has assembled.
Yeah. There's
Alright.
more to come, but
Well.
we got the biggins now.
Well, I guess we'll have to see you next time, which is going to be next week.
Yep.
Because we're not
Bye,
streaming
Dlanor.
this Sunday. Because we're doing stuff in real
true.
life.
Yeah. You'll probably see the results of which on our TikTok eventually.
Yeah, go check it out. Look at our stuff.
Yeah.
But
we're
besides
pretty funny.
that, any other announcements?
Not a lot. Yeah, nothing's happening this weekend. Monday, I think I'm still gonna be. There still should be a new Terranria, unless things have gone horribly awry. Next Tuesday, more Dark Souls. We just started the DLC, so come watch that. That's gonna be fun. We also spent, I think, like 30 minutes fighting Seath the Scaleless with just a catalyst.
Huh.
So watch that. I was doing 4 damage per hit.
Dang.
Yeah, but we won. Spoilers, but it's something to behold. And then Wednesday, new podcast episode. Actually, no, Wednesday. I think there's going to be a new. What are we calling that? The workshop episodes, the crafting
Workshops,
episodes.
courtesy of our friendly neighborhood Jordan on the
Yeah.
channel.
And then next Thursday, another Umineko, and we'll pick up from here.
Yep. All right.
That's it.
That's it.